pre-approval versus pre-qualification. There's a massive difference. One of them is a phone call with a lender like myself. The other one is what gets you into your dream home, right? A lot of people seem to be confused. Even, I get buyers and I get some agents who, are even confused by this entire thing. But let's get into it, right? A pre-qualification, this is where everything starts. A pre-qualification is usually just a conversation before you and me. And the easiest way is for me to just fake do it with you. Is you call me and I say, hey, this is Mortgage Murph. What can I do? You say, hey, I'm John Johnson. Someone, realtor name here, sent me your way. They said pre-approval. I said, okay, cool, awesome. Usually schedule it with me. Don't just call me. Either way. And I would basically get on my computer and I'd pull everything up and I'd be like, okay, let's do this. It should take about 5 to 10 minutes, right? And if you could answer this to the best of your ability. So I just ask questions like, well, what is your income? What are your debts? What is your assets? Is there anything I should know about this? Things like that. And you answer to the best of your ability, right? You say, yeah, I get $4,000. My debt is $600 per month. And I own a condo and I owe like $94,000 left on that condo. I say, okay, cool. It's a very broad picture. I know the gist of you. I know, hey, you get $4,000-ish, you think, and this is everything that I have to work with. The pre-approval, right? That is where it becomes it's the difference between guessing something, example, you saying, oh, it's $4,000 to the best of my ability, and knowing something. What I mean by that is I'm going to ask you I need your pay stubs, right? I need to see how much money you actually make. You send me your pay stubs, I dig through them, and I say, that's not $4,000. That's $3,827. That's a difference. Granted, yes, normal people make like $4,000, but that doesn't work in lending. It doesn't work with banks. It doesn't work in buying homes. It doesn't work with anything that costs money pretty much. Yeah. So it's the pre-approval is you sending me documentation and I am verifying it, right? Nothing can be passed on unless it has been verified, because all that's going to happen if you send me everything and I send it off and I say, you're pre-approved, whatever. And you go to put in an offer at a house. All of that documentation gets reviewed a second time by the actual lender themselves. So it'll just make the process twice as long, and there's no reason to do that, right? You just have to verify every single thing. So why this difference matters in real life. How are you or your realtor going to know what you can afford if somebody didn't sit down with you and go over all of the math? How can your realtor know, like, oh, he's in the range for 1 million to 1.2 million, and you're only pre-approved for 500,000? There's a problem there, right? It helps with your negotiations, right? A realtor can't negotiate if you don't give them numbers to negotiate with, right? A realtor can do so many things, right? They can get you seller concessions, meaning that the home doesn't cost as much money or the seller gives you money back. There's so many other things. So like I said, not all pre-approvals are made the same, and this is lender to lender. Some lenders use AI. Some lenders have junior staff view and go over the documentations. I'm not going to say anything positive. I'm not going to say anything negative. I'm just going to say that deals can fall apart if the foundation, which is the pre-approval, isn't made out of concrete and stone, right? That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to, dig into things, but usually somebody more experienced isn't as likely to miss these red flags as somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. And at the end of the day, this is your biggest financial purchase of your life. So I wouldn't want to trust that with somebody who is new. It's valid. It's understandable. How this applies to VA and non-VA buyers. As you are aware, I'm a veteran. I primarily do VA loans. Veterans, yes, you also need a pre-approval. That goes for every type of loan. VA loan, commercial loan, FHA, your standard loans. Yeah, you need a pre-approval. It's just the way it works, right? What buyers should ask their LOs. So as a loan officer, we understand that this is all new to you. This is not your world. It is our world. So I understand things that most people just won't understand, right? And I'm not a tax expert. I go to somebody to do my taxes because I'm not a professional in that. That is not my line of work, right? So questions you can ask your LO. I mean, there's really only the only important one that I think, and I as a loan officer ask myself this every day, is what could cause this to fall apart later, right? The first time I was asked that, I was like, you've just changed the way that I do everything from today to the entire future. Now, every single loan that I've ever done, as soon as I'm finished and right before I send that pre-approval, I sit there and I say, what could make this fall apart? And the perfect example that I have is I closed a loan where the buyer was single and then married, right? Well, single, married, and then remarried over the course of this. This was many, many months. But regardless, they had 3 last names. And I was like, I've never seen this. You have pay stub 1 that says this, and then your bank statement says this and whatnot. So I just said, hey, I need a letter from you explaining what is going on. And it was very easy. They were just, I was married. I got divorced. I remarried. Simple like that. And it went through totally fine. I know for a fact that underwriting looked at it and they were like, this is an error. And then they saw the letter and were like, oh, this is totally fine. We're good to go. And then it ended up, my processor called me and was like, I've done this for 10 years, much longer than I've been in this business. And I've never seen that before. And they were just laughing on the phone. It was so funny to me. I mean, that is it. One of them gets you your home. The other's just a simple phone call with me, your friend, also your lender. But if you have questions, comments, everything's down below, right? I got links. I got everything you need. If you need a lender or you just have documents and you need questions or something like that, let me know. I am here to help. It is literally my job. So you let me know. I'm taking this tie off because I just finished a Zoom and decided to record this. And I'm over. Okay,